V by Nikolai Gogol. Horror Novella. Part 9. The blackened wooden church, adorned with green moss and topped by 3 conical cupolas, stood desolate almost at the edge of the village. One could see it was long since any service had been celebrated in it. Candles burned before almost every icon. The coffin was placed in the middle, right in front of the altar. The old chief kissed the dead girl once more, made a prostration, and walked out together with the bearers, ordering the philosopher to be given a good meal and taken to the church after supper. Going into the kitchen, all those who had carried the coffin started touching the stove, something people have the custom of doing after they see a dead body. The hunger that the philosopher began to feel just then made him forget all about the deceased for a few moments. Soon all the household servants began gradually to gather in the kitchen. The philosopher sat down with the others in a wide circle under the open sky in front of the kitchen porch. Soon a woman in a red cap stuck herself out the door holding a hot pot of dumplings with both hands and placed it in the midst of those ready to eat. Each of them took a wooden spoon from his pocket. As soon as the wolfish appetite of the whole gathering subsided a little, many began to talk. "Is it true," said one young shepherd, "is it true that the young miss, not to speak ill of her, kept company with the unclean one?" "Who? The young miss?" said Dorosh, already known to our philosopher. "But she was a downright witch. I'll swear she was a witch." "Enough, enough, Dorosh," said another, the one who had shown such readiness to give comfort during the trip. "God help them, it's none of our business. No point in talking about it." But Dorosh was not at all disposed to be silent. He had only just gone to the cellar with the steward on some necessary business, and after bending a couple of times to 2 or 3 barrels, had come out extremely cheerful and talking non-stop. "What do you want? For me to keep quiet?" he said. "But she rode on me. On me myself. By God, she did." "And what, uncle?" said the young shepherd. "Are there some tokens you can tell a witch by?" "No," answered Dorosh. "There's no way to tell. Read through all the psalters. You still won't be able to tell." "You can too, Dorosh. Don't say that," said the same comforter. "Not for nothing did God give everybody a special trait. People who've got some learning say witches have little tails." "When a woman's old, she's a witch," the grey-haired Cossack said coolly. The beginning of the conversation awakened an irrepressible desire and curiosity in the philosopher to learn more in detail about the chief's deceased daughter. And therefore, wishing to bring him back to the former matter, he addressed his neighbor with these words: "I wanted to ask, why is it that all the folk sitting here over supper consider the young miss a witch? What, did she cause some evil or put a hex on somebody or other?" "There were all kinds of things," replied one of the seated men with a smooth face extremely like a shovel. "And who doesn't remember the huntsman Mikita? Or that?" "And what about the huntsman Mikita?" said the philosopher. "I'll tell about Mikita," said Spirid. Let Spirid tell it," shouted the crowd. Spirid began. "You, Mr. Philosopher Khoma, didn't know Mikita. Ah, what a rare man he was! He'd spot a rabbit quicker than you could take a pinch of snuff. He'd whistle, "Here, robber, here, racer," and be off at full speed on his horse, and there'd be no telling whether he was ahead of the dog or the dog ahead of him. He'd toss off a pint of rot-gud as if it had never been there. A fine huntsman he was. Only in more recent days he started staring at the young miss all the time. Either he was really smitten, or she'd put a spell on him. Only it was the end of the man. He went all soft, turned into devil knows what. Pah! It's even indecent to say it. The young miss would no sooner glance at him than he'd drop the bridle, stumble all over, and do God knows what. Once the young miss came to the stable where he was grooming a horse. "Mikita," she says, "let me lay my little leg on you." And he, the tomfool, gets all happy. "Not only your little leg," he says, "you can sit right on me." The young miss lifted up her leg, and when he saw her bare leg white and plump, the charm, he says, just stunned him. He bent his back, the tomfool, grabbed her bare legs with both hands, and went galloping like a horse all over the fields. And he couldn't tell anything about where they rode, only he came back barely alive, and after that he got all wasted, like a chip of wood. And once, when they came to the stable, instead of him there was just a heap of ashes and an empty bucket lying there. He burned up of his own self. And what a huntsman he was! You won't find another like him in the whole world. The story continues in part 10.